Hello, broadcasters. Welcome to episode 177 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Geige. I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
Doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's been a good week. For anyone new here, Dan and I are the founders of StreamYard. We do these town halls every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and we do them for a few reasons. One is to stay in tune with all of you, go through the same flow you all do with your own shows. Two is to answer any of your questions. We love discussing things with all of you. So if there's anything you'd like us to touch on tonight or anything you want us to cover, feel free to leave it in the comments section. And we'll do our very best to get to as many as possible. And then I always mention the three pillars of StreamYard, which are ease of use, stability, and professional streams. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. Got lots of people from all over the world tonight. Thanks for joining us, even though it's even though you're celebrating Memorial Day if you're in the States. Appreciate that. Before I forget, we have lots of awesome shows. We got the Spotlight, second Thursday of every month at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's a show featuring folks like you, folks in the community, and how they're having success with StreamYard. So if you're looking for inspiration, definitely check that out. Or if you're interested in being featured, shoot an email to contact@streamyard.com, and Dana and Kelsey can collaborate with you. We got channel reviews with Dee and Daniel. Really great show if you're looking to learn how to get started with YouTube, or if you're already started on YouTube and just want to know how to up your game when it comes to things like thumbnails and titles and descriptions, and really how to grow a successful channel on YouTube. Great stuff there. And we have Enhance Your Live Streaming the last Tuesday of every month with Nick Nimmin. Nick is a pro when it comes to live streaming and video in general. So for specific live streaming tips, definitely check that one out. We got live stream reviews first and third Saturday at noon PST with Christian and Charles, where they give live feedback on live streams. Lots of fun. And then one thing we've been doing during these shows is a fun fact each week. So you get to know a little bit more about us. We get to know a little bit more about you. This one, sort of a classic, basic question. Favorite dessert? What's your favorite dessert, Dan?
Not much of a dessert guy. I would say when I was a kid, it was ice cream for sure by a huge margin. Nowadays, the few times I do eat dessert, I would say my Nana makes a pretty mean pumpkin pie. So I'm a big fan of that. A few times I have it. How about you?
Desserts. I can't think of too many desserts that I wasn't a fan of. I think I might have lost you, Dan, if you can hear me.
Yeah, you cut out for a sec there.
I'm not sure whether or not to answer the question if I'm... Oh, can you hear me, Dan? Did I cut out?
Yep.
So sorry, folks. My internet. We're working on getting our internet set up in here. I've been cutting in and out lately. What part of the question did I get to?
You didn't really answer any of it. From scratch.
Okay. So for me, it's tough for me. I'm pretty much a big fan of most desserts, but I've always been a really big fan of like coffee cake, kind of specific, but I've always liked coffee cake.
Cool.
Hey, Andy, nice to see you here. Hope you're doing well. We got a question from the Landlord Advocates who says, hey, all, just purchased the GoPro Hero 10. We want to use it with the iPhone 11 and StreamYard to do remote live shows. How do we do this? Help and thank you. Any thoughts on that one, Dan?
I don't have a ton of experience using the GoPro, but...
One place, Landlord Advocates, where there's tons of really experienced folks with these types of things. If you go to Facebook and type in StreamYard Community, the official community group will pop up there, and there's tons of experienced folks to help out with that. I definitely know it's possible. You basically just need to figure out a way to interface your GoPro with your computer and get your computer to pick it up as a web camera, which may or may not involve maybe an additional piece of software to get it to register as a webcam. But there's other options too, in terms of like maybe specifically with the iPhone, if you're using all Mac devices, the ability to sort of mirror onto the Mac depending on your setup. But I like Dan, I'm not super familiar with it, so I would definitely check out that group.
Yep.
All right. Lots of great desserts there. One thing we wanted to mention tonight was we cover a lot in terms of like features that are coming, but one thing that we haven't talked about in a while that we do want to mention is a big focus of ours is always making sure we're improving like the video and audio quality of StreamYard. And we do have a pretty exciting change coming on that front within the next few weeks, particularly if you're someone who's on Pro and using 1080p. So definitely stay tuned for that. We'll have some more details in the coming weeks. And maybe even opportunity to test it out early for some of you.
Cool. And should add, like, you're still fairly blurry, Geige. We're not talking about like things will magically improve your internet, but if you do have like Geige's internet is definitely struggling a bit. It's not terrible, but it's a little blurry. It's not for stuff like that. It's not necessarily to improve it if there's internet issues. It's more just like make it even crisper if you already have a really good connection. It's always something we're trying to optimize.
Cool. Let's see what else we have here. Let's see. For those of you who missed it yesterday with the live stream reviews, I got to cover Charles' position so that Christian wasn't running the show by himself. Awesome packaging. Thanks for helping out with the show.
Cool.
Other thing that's coming soon we wanted to mention tonight was the Facebook new page experience. Do you want to talk through that one, Dan? Yeah,
definitely. So a lot of you probably aren't familiar with what this is, and that's totally reasonable. So Facebook is rolling out a new experience for pages, and it's pretty similar to what it was before. It's just a little different, where pages behave a little bit more like profiles now, and it's something they're very slowly rolling out to people. Eventually, everyone will have it, and it will be the norm. But for now, it's just a few people have access, and it does have some issues, like through its API, like basically how we interface with it. So there's been some challenges. I know a few people have had trouble connecting those pages. We will have a workaround coming for that, although we're also working with Facebook to hopefully kind of improve that integration in general. But yeah, a lot of you haven't been switched over. If you have and you've had trouble connecting, you can revert back to the classic experience, they call it for now. But soon we should also have a way to get that to work better.
Cool. We have another question here from, or comment here from Dan saying, it'd be great to be able to speak to people behind the stage and not heard on the live video. I'd be curious, Dan, I'm assuming you mean the ability for folks backstage to sort of communicate with each other. I'd be curious if you'd want that to happen directly in the StreamYard studio, where people join the studio and they can sort of just like, they're backstage, but they can communicate, but somehow they're aware that they're not actually part of the broadcast yet, or if it would be preferable for that to sort of happen in almost a separate area. Curious how you'd want that to work. Do let us know. Yep. Awesome, Mike. Happy to hear that. Glad you're a fan of the updates. Let's see. Hector says, personally, hate the new Facebook page experience. Basically, you have to use another profile to admin the page.
It's a little weird, yeah.
Yes, hopefully they'll continue improving it. We are doing our best effort to give feedback on it. I don't think most folks are actually on it yet, so that's one other thing to clarify is there's a very good chance that this new experience does not apply to you yet. Is the plan for eventually everyone to be on the new?
Very few people are on it right now.
Got it.
But yes, the plan is for everyone to eventually be on it.
See what else we have here. Gotti says, any improvements to the green screen feature? I'd like to shrink myself down a bit like streamers do in gaming. Hey, Gotti, hope you're doing well. I think you've commented on this in the past. We definitely want to add more functionality around green screen. The ability to like shrink yourself and move yourself around on the screen. I don't have a particular date for anything like that yet, but definitely we'll make sure the design team's aware of your feedback. Maybe they can incorporate some of that into some of the new things that they're working on when it comes to green screen.
Yep.
All right. David says, tested the mirror mode and liked it. Awesome, David. Happy to hear that. That was actually one of the things we wanted to ask about tonight. For those of you that have had a chance to test the mirror camera feature, how's it going for you? Are you a fan of it? Is there anything that you'd like to work differently with it? Do let us know.
Yep. I've personally been using it. I did not expect myself to be using it, and I am using it. Not all the time. I find I switch back and forth. I'm not sure why I switch back and forth, but I've been enjoying it. As long as you don't have any huge overlays that could cover you, but that's pretty rare.
Cool. Yeah, Tom. So just stay tuned. I think it should be pretty quick that it is resolved.
I also don't think it's necessarily a problem once you have it connected. Most of the problems are coming from when you're actually kind of setting up the connection itself. Yeah, a lot of people are just not affected, but it seems like some percentage are.
Benjamin Sadiq says, having problems seeing comments lately on streams. So first thing I would do, Benjamin, is just go over to StreamYard.com/contact. There's a live chat there, and the folks there can help you troubleshoot. It really depends on where you're streaming. If it's somewhere like Facebook, it likely has something to do with permissions, but could be a number of things. Reach out to support.
Yeah. Yeah, Facebook does have some gotchas, basically. Like if you're streaming to a page, you shouldn't have any issues. The most common one is when you're streaming to a profile. You have to make sure you're making your streams public, and we do, just on the chat on the right side, have instructions for how to do that. So if you're streaming to a profile, that's the most common cause, and just try clicking those instructions. If it's something else, I'd reach out to our support team.
Dave says, question, any update on record only, pause button, and dark mode? So for record only, Dave, no updates on dates or anything other than team is currently working on improving the recording feature in general, including the ability to pause, but also just making it a much better experience in general. And dark mode, in the meantime, there are various add-ons to make that happen, but it is likely something that will come at some point. Andy says, I missed the mirrored feature. What does it do? Yeah, for sure, Andy. So if you just go into settings and select camera, there's now a mirror cam option, and quite literally it mirrors your camera, but it only mirrors it for yourself. So the broadcast output, you're still going to look the same, but if you're wanting to, do make, I don't know if it applies to you, but maybe put on makeup. If you're doing makeup or need to make it easier to sort of make adjustments and stuff, it can help with that.
Yeah, it basically makes it look like what you see when you're looking in a mirror, right? So for a lot of people, it's a lot more natural. But yeah, we only mirror it for you because we want it to look normal for everyone else as well. So for your viewers on YouTube, we want it to look the same. And if we mirrored you, they'd actually see the opposite of what they usually see. So you're only mirrored for yourself.
Cool. Awesome, Darren. Glad you're a fan of the Puddles toy.
Me as well.
Backyard Politics says, question, will you guys be adding a multiple scene feature? You want to share some thoughts on that one, Dan?
Yeah, something we're open to. As long as we're able to do it in a way where it's very simple to use. So that's it's something we're exploring. We've explored for a while. But yeah, as long as we can do it in a way that, it's kind of like true to our core, very, very simple, but also quite powerful, then we're open to it. So we'll see.
Cool. Got a question here from Michael Daniels. Hey, Michael, hope you're doing well. I may have missed it, but can you demo the mirror effect you're talking about? You just want to screen share it, Dan, or is it kind of a pain? So we can't actually demo it in the output, Michael, because it only mirrors it for you. It's only for you to see and make adjustments.
Yeah, I'm just thinking the nicest way to actually do it. I could screen share it or take a picture. Here, I'll just screen share it. Let's try this.
Cool.
Live demo. 1 sec.
All right. What else did we have here? Larry says, any plans on decoupling the comments area so we can put it alone on a second monitor or on a tab/window by itself? Definitely something we're open to. Larry, like right now, you can't pop it out or anything, but would be pretty straightforward thing for us to add. Would be curious to learn more about how you'd be using that, just to make sure that we can build it the best way possible. So curious, like what the actual use case is and what you're trying to do. Like understand you want it on a second monitor, but just actually curious what you're doing with that would be good to know.
Okay. So if we just hide that comment, yeah. So I'm on the other tab here. This is what the mirror looks like. So it's just very simple in the camera settings. There's just a checkbox. You can mirror and unmirror. So it's going to be hard to explain, but basically like when I move to the right, I'll also see myself moving to the right. If I uncheck it, everything's kind of reversed. Like, you go one way and your video goes the other way. But again, it's just for me. So it's just what I see. It's not what everybody else sees. They'll always see as if they were kind of looking at me. So sort of the normal way. It's just for myself. So yeah, it just flips it back and forth. Hope that makes sense.
Cool. Let's see what else we have here. Lots of questions coming in. Have one here from Hector that says, option would be to have audio in green room to check everything is fine before going on air. Let's have it. Yeah, Hector's more ways to sort of test the broadcast without actually having to go live is something we're open to experimenting with. It is sort of a tough one because each destination is technically a little bit different. So in some ways it is actually good to sort of do an unlisted YouTube or an unlisted or a group or stream to a Facebook group to really make sure you can see how it's working. But we do want to add more functionality there. Subversive with Justin O'Donnell says, I wish we had a button that said end sequence that would play a selected outro video and end the stream immediately at its conclusion. Right now, ending the stream has a weird lag that's hard to predict. You want to speak about some of the stuff we're exploring there, Dan?
Yeah, we're definitely open to something like that. As long as we can do it very nicely, that it, like you said, it is hard to predict. It's also like hard to predict kind of from a tech perspective as well. Like certain platforms end at different times. That's why the timing can be kind of tricky. But yeah, we're always trying to come up with like clever ways to maybe help you make that easier. And then same with the intros as well. So we'll see if we can ship something for that in the future. But yeah, I totally hear you. Definitely get it.
Cool. What's next? Data is King says, will there be a way in the future to share documents that will be used for creating tutorials? Be super curious, Data, to learn a little bit more about what you mean there. So like you can share like slides, like you can directly import slides, you can upload PDFs and share those types of documents. But I have a feeling that maybe you're talking about something a bit more in depth, but do you have any different understanding of what data might mean, Dan?
No, I'm not sure, but yeah, if you can clarify a bit. I would actually add one thing to the last question as well, is actually what we do at the end of our streams, just to make the timing not matter as much, is you can play an outro video and then put up an image while that video is playing, and the image will actually be sitting like an overlay image, and the image will sit behind the video. And then when the video is done, you'll just see the image, and then you can kind of wait, 10, 15 seconds or something, and then end it. And you don't have to like time it as well, where, you might end up like seeing the cameras right at the end kind of thing before it ends. Or you can just remove yourself and your guest from the stream, and then it'll just kind of be the background when the video finishes playing. If you have a nice background, that could be an option as well. But yeah, we are trying to think through if we can make that easier, so you don't have to click as many buttons, basically.
Awesome. I have one here from Darren. May we please start having 1 hour instead of only half an hour? It's too short. Appreciate the feedback, Darren, and glad you're a fan of it. That's awesome. We're certainly open to it. We might also do, maybe instead of making this one longer, maybe do some additional streams, like private streams, or we're definitely open to creating more content. But awesome, and glad that you enjoy spending time with us. Appreciate it. We certainly enjoy spending time with you. Michael says, having the chat pop out would allow us to have the brand tab open and usable while floating chat tab can be moved to the middle of the page, just like now Geige is looking to the right. Great point, Michael. That makes sense. Appreciate that. I'd be curious if that's the same reason that the other gentleman mentioned, but that's great to know. So stuff like that is super useful, so I appreciate that. I'm on a new setup right now, and I have this super wide monitor, and that's why it's particularly bad, so I need to improve that. But
yeah, one thing I do, I don't know if other people do this as well, and I'd be curious for anyone watching if you do it. I always like position my screen or the Chrome window to be in a very specific spot and a certain size. Like I actually shrink it down a lot, just so that like the comments are not that far to the right. I never have to look too far away from the camera. You also spend a lot more time looking at comments than I do, so
I minimize my screen a little bit, so hopefully it's not quite as traumatic.
Cool. It's not bad. It's pretty similar to normal.
Cool. It sounds like Backyard Politics. It was similar reasons. So good to know. Really appreciate that. That's awesome.
Cool.
Nikki says, can you do a countdown clock? Yeah, absolutely, Nikki. We even have a built-in one that you can try out yourself. But yeah, you can upload any type of video you like in the video clip section, including a countdown clock.
Yeah, and that's on all plans too. So even on the free plan, you can do that. And usually, like if you want a unique one, so like Geige said, there's a built-in one. Let me just play it actually. Let's see if we've got it here. Yeah. So that's like the default one that we include for everyone for free. But if you want a custom one or something, you can usually find them online, or you can get someone on Fiverr to make one for you. Or there's tools where you can create countdowns pretty easily. You got to be careful with copyright, which is why we give you one that has no copyright issues.
Awesome, Clarine. That's so kind of you to say. Really appreciate that. Awesome that you're enjoying StreamYard. Thanks, Data King. That makes sense. So you'd like to. So I would be curious to learn even more though. So like, is the idea Like, would you want your guests in the studio to actually be able to sort of use the spreadsheet, like to actually be able to manipulate it inside of the StreamYard studio? Is it just the act of sharing the spreadsheet itself? I guess what is screen sharing not allow you to do that you'd want to do by having it directly in the studio? Would be great to know.
Yep.
All right. Got a couple more questions here, and then also a couple more topics. Let's see. Prepper Tribe says StreamYard needs to be connected with the Stream Deck. Yes, Stream Deck's awesome piece of hardware, and something that we absolutely are exploring. In the meantime, before we have a direct integration, you can use the hotkeys functionality to sort of make the two things work together. But we definitely want to improve it.
Yep. And there's quite a few tutorials, I think, now on YouTube from people that have given an example. If you're not aware of how to do it with the hotkeys, that have examples for how to do that if you're interested. It is a little more work, like Geige said. So hopefully we have a more direct integration somewhat.
Cool. Awesome, Champrix. Glad you're enjoying the mug. Very, very cool.
Cool. I'm a huge fan of that mug. I use it every chance I can. And I'm not a coffee drinker, so it's a rare occurrence that I even use it, but I quite enjoy it.
Charles says, what screen do you have? I don't actually know the exact model number, but LG, it's an LG like ultra wide type monitor. I'm probably going to switch it out for like just two separate monitors because it's pretty excessive. But
too big. Is it curved or is it one of the flat ones?
It's not. If it is curved, I can't tell.
Very subtle. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Larry says, we use banners and brand tab a lot to run commercials, etc. As a result, we end up missing a lot of comments that scroll by. It would be great to have the comments in a separate window so we can keep it on screen. Cool. Another great piece of info there for us on that functionality. Really appreciate it. Clarine says, question, can you make the option to select existing scheduled streams more obvious / prominent? I've had times when I've forgotten to select it on the front end and not realize until seconds before my time to go live.
The option to select existing / scheduled stream.
Maybe if you could give us a little bit more info, Clarine. Like, do you just mean like in the dashboard itself, like making it obvious that you have a stream that's coming up, so that you actually know which one you need to enter? Let me know if that's what it is, or if we're misunderstanding. Yep.
Your video is freezing from your internet, by the way, but your audio is still coming through.
Yeah, apologize for that. We'll get it fixed by next week. Dan and I just moved into a new place, and we need to up I need to up my. Dan's right next to the thing, and I'm a bit far away.
You're back now.
Cool. All right. Let's see. Should we go ahead and queue up the giveaway, Dan? We don't actually have too much time left.
We should.
We had a couple other things we wanted to ask about tonight, but there's quite a few questions here. So let me see. The Red Lens says, I really could use someone to help me with SEO and YouTube algo. Definitely check out some of the shows we have on YouTube, Red Lens, in particular, the one from Dee and Daniel. Nick also has really good tips too when it comes to specific YouTube tips. So check those out.
For anyone that's not aware how we do this, so to join the giveaway, just type in #TheYard in the chat. And what are we giving away, Geige?
We'll give away the StreamYard sweater that Dan has on there, and we'll also give away the StreamYard pillow. Neither of us actually have it in the background right now, but it's just a nice blue pillow with the StreamYard duck on it. But yeah, we'll give you like 30 seconds or so to get in your #the yards. And you can run this tool yourself in your own streams if you're interested, but just going to StreamYard.com/giveaway. It has all the instructions on how to use it. Cool. Weedy says we need free StreamYard information. So we do have tons of tutorials and stuff on YouTube, Weedy, but we are in the process of updating them. Some of them are pretty old, so stay tuned on that. There are going to be updated versions of a lot of the content. The docs are up to date though. So if you go to StreamYard.com/contact or support.StreamYard.com, there's a whole wiki of essentially everything you could possibly want to know when it comes to StreamYard. So check that out. Felicia says, is there a way to use animated GIFs with a transparent background? You can actually use animated GIFs, Felicia. With video clips, you're limited on the transparent effect, but with GIFs, you can use an animated GIF that's transparent as like a logo or just on the screen. Absolutely. All right, should we go ahead and do the giveaway, Dan?
Let's do it. Good luck, everyone.
Kelvin, congrats. Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. If you shoot an email to contact@streamyard.com, Dana can coordinate with you to get your size for the sweater and your address and stuff like that. But congrats again.
Cool. I like the avatar.
Yeah, it's a cool logo. All right. Cool. I think we had a couple other things we wanted to hit on tonight really quickly. One was a feature for looping the video clips is coming pretty soon, so stay tuned on that. And if there's anything, we don't have too much time yet, so maybe save it for next time. But if there's anything specific you'd like to see with the looping functionality, other than the obvious one of just having an option to loop the video, do let us know.
Yeah, and main use case here is just a lot of times if you have an intermission in your stream or something like that, and you want to just play a 30-second video over and over and over until you're back. That's pretty big. And not just intermissions, but anytime you want to just like cover some space between a gap, and you don't want to have to upload like a video that is like the perfect length, or have to like play it and then right near the end start it again. That's kind of the main use case. But yeah, coming soon.
Awesome. Smaz says, I'm on Nick's streams every Saturday almost. He and the others give away a lot of great info on growing YouTube. Yeah, they definitely know how it's done. They're great.
Yep.
All right, we think we have time for maybe one or two more here. Al Rogers says, how can we integrate audience engagement like Dan with the draw feature? So for that one specifically, Al, if you just go to StreamYard.com/giveaway, you can actually do it exactly how Dan just did it by running that tool and sharing your screen. In terms of additional audience engagement beyond like things like sharing the comments on screen and whatnot, it's something we're actively exploring, adding more functionality around that. Curious if there's anything in particular that you'd really like to see, definitely let us know.
And there's the link, by the way, to do your own giveaway.
Cool. All right, let's see if there's one final one here. Saw a couple of questions. I don't see them now, but there are a couple of questions asking about if the ability to upload tracks is coming. Yes, it's absolutely coming, and it's coming soon. So just stay tuned on that one. The reason we didn't immediately launch with it was to make sure we could handle all of the copyright stuff that could potentially come up, but the functionality will be coming. And with that said, this was episode 177 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. Happy Memorial Day again. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Really appreciate you being here with us.
Awesome. Nice chatting with you, everyone. See you next week.